Hi guys, it's Amy from Little Farm Quilts. Joining us today is Courtney.
Hi.
If you've been following along with me for any time, you know that Courtney's my youngest child. She lives in California, and she was saying the other day that she missed doing these YouTube videos with me. Last year, Maynia, you did every one. We did daily videos, and the only ones you weren't in were the ones I was in Florida for, right?
And I think we try to get me on the Facebook Live, but it wasn't working.
And we did it a couple times, I think, but it didn't work every time.
Yeah.
Dad had a business trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I went with him in Florida. Go figure. I wish I was there now.
Oh, that'd be nice.
It's we've had kind of a comedy of errors this morning. I don't know, errors. It's just weird. My life is always weird, I feel like. It's my granddaughter's birthday. She's my oldest granddaughter. She's 8 today. Zoe, happy birthday, Zoe. We did a drive-by. We decorated the Jeep with all this colorful fringe and happy birthday signs. Drove up to their house, met them in the front yard, gave her some gifts, then gave her all the decorations off of my Jeep, and gave her Mother's Day present, my daughter Ashley, and we kind of socially distanced in the front yard during the freezing cold because we had a blizzard this morning in upstate New York. And a little bit of a birthday party. So because she's 8, we thought this is a little more special, you know what I mean, than the little kid birthdays. You know, when you get into 8, you're getting out of the little kid birthdays. And so we got her a necklace, a real necklace, not a toy one, a real necklace that tells her she's special and loved. And it was really cute. It was circles all entwined together. You are special, you are loved.
Oh,
like that. Cute. We got her some summer clothes. We got her flowers. You know what I mean? Because it's an older birthday.
That's cute. That's cute.
And we got her a stuffed llama that clips on the things.
Yeah.
Cute. So that was fun. And we got flowers and a card for Ashley for Mother's Day. That's my oldest daughter. They live locally, but we are still socially distancing with them. Don't want to put the grandbabies at risk. I would never forgive myself. And considering we were at Walmart earlier today. Anyway.
Is Walmart requiring masks?
They're required. Well, I saw somebody in there without one today. We wear masks. I made four for me, 4 for your dad. I have to wash a bunch of them today. Your dad doesn't like wearing them.
Well, he got.
I think it's
stay safe, everybody.
Yeah. Well, and that is the wearing a mask really isn't about protecting yourself. It's about protecting others because there are plenty of people walking around that are carriers. So, anyway, so but they're only allowing so many people in the store at one time. They have people at the entrance. There's one-way aisles. You know, there's stuff on the floor that you can go down this way on this aisle, this way in another aisle. I think going to Walmart has lost its appeal to me. It's more unnerving than anything else, I think. So
I think going anywhere has lost any appeal.
Do you know what I mean? Like going anywhere, I miss, like it's kind of sad really that we're not going to have a Mother's Day picnic tomorrow. Like we didn't have an Easter egg hunt that like has been family traditions for ever. So sad. Honestly, we don't have the weather for a picnic right now.
Oh, you guys do not.
I mean, it's just
can all come
and yeah, so it's I say this in every video. I feel like I don't know why people are still watching me. I always say like it's been a day, it's been a week, it's been another rough week at work. I was talking to Courtney about this before we started recording. I had to move my offices. We have a little bit of a change up going on here. My son's coming home from Houston for a few weeks. He's going to work from here. So that'll put 3 adults in the same house trying to work from home with video conferencing. That ought to be good. I already had to move out of one of the bedrooms because your dad and I were in bedrooms next to each other. And it was both in a video conference together. It was ridiculous. Like It drove me nuts. It didn't bother him at all. It drove me a little bit crazy. So then I moved out to the kitchen.
Yeah.
I told everybody about this on a previous Flosstube. I don't even know what Flosstube number this is. We're going to call it a Maynia update, by the way. And then if I can figure out what Flosstube number it is, I'll tag it as that too. But I had moved out into the kitchen, made the office into my kitchen. Well, between Courtney can tell everybody out there, I kind of like everything in its place. And when things are out of place for too long, it gets a little irritating to me. And it makes me cranky. She can tell you. It makes me cranky. And I try not to be cranky, but I just end up moving everything to make it the way I need it so I'm not cranky anymore. So I was having trouble with my office being in the dining room anyway, because we have that big open concept room and you can see it from everywhere you are.
Mm-hmm.
And then we found out Chris was coming. So I said, oh, well, crap. Now I really have to do something. So in the middle of the day, I think my office day this week was Monday. So I went to the office on Monday, and I think Tuesday or Wednesday, it might have been Wednesday. No, it was Thursday. I moved my office down here. So my office is now down here with my sewing stuff, which is going to play into this video here in a little bit because I can't find something that I needed to find for this video, and I still can't find it. So
maybe look for it for probably a good 15 minutes.
We did. Well, I did while I was talking to you. But yeah, and I'm sure if I go up and I go through my whip bins and stuff that I'll find it. But just the fact that I've had to move everything around like twice in the last 2 weeks during Maynia and working full time. And by the way, I have 2 quilts on order right now too. So I've been working on them. I just cannot find the darn thing. And it's irritating to me because, well, you'll find out why it's irritating to me here in a few minutes.
Because the really awesome one?
But we're now, I don't know how many minutes into this video, but I have not welcomed any existing watchers. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me. If you're new to my channel, thanks. I mean, you picked a perfect time to join.
Welcome, bud.
It's chaos as usual.
Mm-hmm.
I do have somewhat of a plan. I was telling Courtney that the week kind of flew by between work and Maynia, and I'm so excited about Maynia this year for a lot of reasons that we'll talk about later, but the week flew by. I couldn't remember what I started on what days. Like I remembered what I started on day 1 because I was waiting to start that project for weeks and weeks and weeks going into Maynia. Like I almost started Maynia early so I could start that project. But I couldn't remember any of the other days except for today. And last night when I went to bed, I decided, because I don't have 31 new starts, I have like 25.
Mm-hmm.
My last count was 25, I think. And I have more I could add in to make 31, but I don't know. So anyway, I thought, oh, I have some free days. Maybe I'll do a whip weekend this weekend where I just pick out ones I've already started and work on them. Well, then I got up this morning and started a new start. So a 9th new start, which is fine.
Yeah. Just gonna keep going like I'm going.
I'm just going to keep going. And I have patterns here that I would love to start. Like I don't know if you've seen it, Courtney, and I don't have it out. I should have brought it. Oh, I do have it out. I have my binder here. I got the Kringles pattern. Have you seen it, any of that?
I don't think I've seen the Kringles one.
All right, hold on. Sorry, I had to step out. I put all of my cross stitch patterns in a binder in sheet protectors because number one, I need to get them out of where they were here in this area so I can have an office here.
They were just hanging, right?
Pardon me?
Were they just hanging on the wall?
They were hanging in a bin on the wall, and I have other stuff in that bin now that I need to have available. But I have a lot of patterns in here that I thought would make it into Maynia, and obviously they did not. I don't think I realized just how many patterns I have. Well, and some of them are dekitted patterns from last year. When I pulled them back out, I either didn't like, I've talked about this probably a million times. I either didn't like the fabric that they were on, or I didn't like the flosses I chose. They weren't really my style, so I de-kitted them and put the patterns back into here. Okay, this is Kringles. So this is a Little House Needleworks new pattern.
Oh, that's cute.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It measures 12 3/4 by 15 3/8 inches.
Oh man.
But isn't that cool?
Yeah, that is really cool.
And I did order the called for fabric to go with it, so I could add this in if I really wanted to. I have a lot of big projects in this Maynia, lots of big. I'm drawn to these bigger ones, which is fine because you'll see I'm getting a lot done on those bigger ones. So,
how big is that one compared to the Jesus one?
the Jesus one is totally different. For those of you that haven't been following along, I have a 20-year-old whip that's a Jesus and a Lamb full coverage piece, and I don't know stitch width and size. It's probably this size.
Yeah,
every square inch is covered with stitches. This is not. You know what I mean? You've got pretty intense roof line and bricks, but in the rooms, not everything is a stitch. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's plenty of things out of this binder that I could add. And when I was putting the binder together, I was thinking about adding, and I will. If I still feel like, man, I'm still going on starts and it's not stressing me out, I'll just add and do it because that just dictates what I'm working on for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And I love all the patterns I've chosen, where I can't say that last year.
No, last year you were kind of stressed out about it because you weren't working on the things you really like.
Yeah, I wasn't working on things I really wanted to work on. This year I decided I'm getting more into choosing my own fabrics, more into choosing my own floss, because floss has become a shortage now. So floss is hard to get. So I'm kind of glad I stockpiled on what I had. Some of the floss makers have shut down. Some of them are practicing social distancing. So really getting floss is now starting to become an issue. Things are going on back order. I was able to get a few DMCs in, but like DMC, I believe, is manufactured in France, and their factory has been shut down. So it's becoming difficult to get some of these things. So this year I got way more comfortable in choosing my own fabrics, my own colors. I would do a floss toss before I kitted it for Maynia. And when I kitted, I would only have like a couple colors in here, not every color that's needed, because I'm not going to get the whole thing done during Maynia. I mean, some of them have all the colors in there, but not all of them. Some only have one or two colors just to get me started.
Right.
And the ones that have all the colors in are ones that I knew I would continue to work on through Maynia, not just on the day that they were being worked and started. So I've done all that, and I'm prepped to go through my Maynia update now.
Ooh.
I am not like some of the others. I did not dictate on what day I was going to do what stitch. I basically filled a bin full of all of my kitted things, and I have another bin with my existing whips. And whatever I felt like working on that day, that's what I pulled. So it is what it is. Sometimes I'm doing the Housewives thing, Witchy Wednesday, or Stars and Stripes Saturday, or Santa Sunday, Merry Monday, but sometimes I'm not. You know what I mean? There's no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. It's just stitching what I want to stitch that day. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm getting a ton of stitching done. I'm getting a ton of sewing done. I'm working hard. But because I have no commute and I can pick up stitching at lunch without a 10-minute drive home, do you know what I mean? I'm getting a lot done.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's start with day one.
Day one.
What? It is more fun with you. You know, you really need to do these with me on Saturdays.
I'll do them every Saturday, Mom.
Okay. And if you can't, we'll do them Friday nights, and then I'll just upload them on Saturday. We got to go with your schedule, but it is more fun with somebody else.
Yeah.
So day one, I started Huckleberry Farm by the Blue Flower. And this is the one that I was chomping at the bit to start. I love that house. Look at that house.
Oh, cute.
And look at the moth or butterfly in the center. I don't know what it is. It's probably a moth.
I think it's a butterfly. Isn't it like yellow and black?
Yep.
I think it's a butterfly.
And there's bears and bees. Look at like bears up here. See, in the beehive.
Oh my gosh.
Here, and I think this is a big beehive here.
And is the Ada, is that like purple dyed or is it gray dyed?
It's shale. So
okay.
Here it looks grayish purple, right? Yeah. I'm stitching it. It called for 32 count shale Picture This Plus linen. I could not get the linen. I was gonna get the linen. By the time I ordered the fabric, they did not have any of the linen left. So I ended up getting 16 count Ada in the same colorway by Picture This Plus. And I've stitched on this on day one, and then I picked it up again a couple days ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
But look at the house. So that whole top part of the house, minus the white post down below, I got done on day one. And that is approximately 1,500 stitches in that house right there. And I got that done in day one. And then I picked it up the other night and did these two posts right here on the front porch.
That's adorable.
And I do think this is my first experience with Picture This Plus. And I just like the fabric. It's super soft. I did load it on my scroll frame though, and that's what I used to stitch it with that day. But I've stuck the white I did here, I stitched in hand the other night. So just because I was too lazy to load it back on my scroll frame.
Yeah.
But I do like the scroll frame, so I'm not gonna lie. So that was day one. I took Maynia day one off from work this year. So I stitched on and off of this on all day. All day on and off, did laundry, did some cleaning, but all day on and off I stitched.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. And I don't keep track of my hours like some people do. And typically I don't count stitches. I only did for a few things just to kind of give people an idea of how much I can get done in a day.
1,500.
Yeah. And actually, if I could sat there, I can't sit there for hours and hours. So I would stitch for like an hour. I'd get up and go do something, stitch for like an hour, get up and go do something. If I could actually sit for that long, I would get way more done. But that's that.
Nice.
So day two was the Christmas list by Silver Creek Samplers. And I've been wanting to do this pattern for a long time since I saw Priscilla Blaine do it on the Housewives. She did a different color conversion. I'm using her color conversion. So I'm not using the called for. I'm also not using the called for fabric because I had this fabric that I got on sale at Fat Quarter Shop. This is 20 count Ada Petty Point on gray.
Ooh. Oh, that's adorable.
Isn't it cute?
That's so cute. I love the polka dots. It just makes it a lot more whimsical.
I didn't get to stitch a lot that day, but I think that's a lot to get done, and I'm going to tell you why. Oh, I cut it off. I cut it to size after I figured out how much I needed. But on another corner, I had started this green border up there, and I was stitching it 2 strands over 1 stitch because it's 20 count Ada. And I liked it when I was doing the strand across the top, but when I got to the Christmas tree over on the right-hand side, it got too bulky and mushy looking. Like it didn't look like it looked awful. So I ended up starting over on the opposite corner of the fabric because I didn't want to rip out all those stitches. And I started over with 1 strand, and it looks much better. I like it much better. I'm getting good coverage. The only place that I'm doing 2 strands now is in the letters because I do want them a little more coverage.
Yeah, they kind of pop more.
Yeah, but everything else will be 1 strand. And I think it looks awesome. I'm totally happy with it on that fabric. I really like it.
It looks like it's snowing behind it.
No, I think it'll be nice. And it's a joy to stitch on. Of course, Ada is easier for me anyway. I run into counting issues on linen. So
I
I do work on more on linen. You'll see some in here, but and I didn't count stitches on that one, but anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah, I
Day,
think it's cute.
day 3 on Sunday, I picked up a Teresa Kogut, this one right here. I have both of these planned in my Maynia, but I picked up this one. This is Stairway to You,
Oh,
and I just think it was cute.
those sheep.
They are.
Oh my
Stairway to
god.
You is EWE. They are sheep, and they're cute. And then this one is Teeny Garden. I have not started this one yet, but it is in my Mania plans. And these are not very big. So this is the size of this one.
Oh, that's cute.
I'm doing this on, this is 28 count Lugana, I'm pretty certain.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the house too close, you'll see a couple miscounted stitches. And I had to rip a bunch of that house out and redo because I had miscounted threads over and I was off one in a very bad place. So I ended up taking half the house out and restitching it. But still, that house is about 25 by 30. So times that out, that house is probably about 500 stitches.
Yeah.
Right?
Are you using your fancy floss for that?
I am. I'm using, where did I put that bag? I believe I'm using Old Brick on that one.
Ooh.
Classic Colorworks Old Brick, I believe.
See that nice little variation in the red.
Bag here somewhere. I just taken it out of the bag because I didn't want all that, you know, all the crinkling.
Right.
But it's here somewhere if I can find it. Here it is. Manor Red is what I'm using. Classic Colorworks Manor Red. I picked my own colors because I didn't have all the ones that she had listed. And I didn't have a lot of faith that I was going to be able to get the ones she listed in, and I used different fabric as well than she called for. So I just did a floss toss where I put all the colors on against the fabric to see how it was going to work. And I used Manor Red, and I may run out of Manor Red unless I can find more on my wall over here. But the house is just about done. So
Nice.
But I picked Manor Red, Crab Cakes, Bamboo, Eve's Leaves, Stepping Stones, Stepping Stone, and just black, DMC black, and see.
Oh, those are cool.
And I picked Bamboo because the white's going to show up on that fabric pretty well for the sheep, I think.
Yeah, I think it's gonna show up pretty well.
Yeah. So I like that one too. See, I love all of these. Like if I could touch all of them every day, I'd be super freaking stoked. I just don't have enough time in the day.
So freaking happy.
There was one, and the next one I talk about is the one. There was one that caused me so much trouble that I ended up putting it down and not cross-stitching on it anymore that day. And that's when I picked the Huckleberry Farm one back up. Stitched on it because this one became so frustrating for me, and I have no idea why. So this one I worked on the 5th. This was my 5th start. It's Prim Village by Lori Holt.
I remember that.
Emma. Yep. I'm only doing one row of houses. I'm not doing the whole thing. I just want to do one row. So the first thing was picking out the colors for the houses that I wanted to do that suited us. So your dad and I decided we're doing an orange house for Chevy Orange. A green house because we like green.
Nice. That's the Canandaigua house.
Yeah. We're going to do a yellow house just because it's bright and sunny, you know, colorful. And then we're doing this tealy turquoisey house.
I like those.
So these are the houses that we're doing together.
Nice.
So that was fine. And then I got to check this because my phone's going off like nobody's business. I started on 28 count linen. I'm in the 28 count linen club at Fat Quarter Shop, and I like 28 count. It's a nice, easier linen to stitch on, I think. but for some reason, I do have issues with light colors on light fabric,
Mm-hmm.
especially if it's linen, seeing the threads. And that was becoming super frustrating for me. Matter of fact, on this, when I picked this one back up, I'm going to rip out the windows that I did in this and redo them because they're not very pretty.
Okay.
So I started with the turquoisey house, did the border, and started with the turquoisey house. But see the color of the windows? It almost matches the fabric,
Yeah.
which is fine. I'm recording,
I know.
Okay. Well, you just might want to take your safety glasses off if you want to pop in. Dad's here, wants to pop in on our video. But the windows are about the same color, and in the lighting I was in, it was hard for me to stitch in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I need to just rip them out and redo because gosh, those stitches look awful.
What would you change? Would you change them to just the white?
No, I would keep them the same color, but I think what I would do is stitch the house color first and then fill in with those stitches under a good light. I really was not in good lighting that day, so I think that was what the problem was.
Makes sense. Yeah.
But it frustrated me so much I just put it away. I could not. I should have been able to finish 2 of those houses in that day at the rate I was stitching, and I just couldn't. I was so frustrated. I was like, screw it. So just for everybody watching, we had a leak in our basement last night, so that's what Matt's working on right now, and he's probably waiting for me to get done recording this video so that I can help do a couple things. So to be fair, I'm telling you, it's always something here.
Always something.
Always something.
Mm-hmm.
So on the 6th, this is start number 6. Anybody bored yet?
I'm not. I'm having fun.
Halloween sampler.
Oh yeah, I saw you doing this one. I think you actually sent me a picture.
It's Cottage Garden Samplings is the designer or the company that distributes. I don't know. You see how there's a cauldron, there's a cat, there's a pumpkin, there's a crow. I don't know that I will do all of them. I don't know. I'm going to do the letters first and see which ones of those. Like I might put the bats in. I might put this crow in, and I may put that cauldron in and the cat. I don't know. We'll see.
It would be so funny if you just freehand stitched a goblin head in there.
Oh.
That would be hilarious.
But I started this on 28 count Monaco that I dyed. And I dyed it specifically for a Halloween piece because I knew this year I was going to start stitching Halloween. Courtney knows I'm not a huge Halloween, and I think I've told the story on the Flosstube before about why I'm not a Halloween. I don't even know if Courtney knows why I'm not a Halloween person, but at one point, one of my daughters was critically ill and on a ECMO machine in England, and the day I walked in the hospital to see her was Halloween after I'd flown all night to get to her. And there were trick-or-treating kids in the lobby. And so that's what I remember of Halloween. My daughter, thankfully Kayla, is alive and well, and she's a mom and married and doing great. But at 13, she came really close to being on the other side of that. So I think for me, Halloween is just that. It reminds me of that time. It just is what it is. So, and plus I don't like clowns. I really don't like clowns. Just putting that out there. Do not like clowns.
I hate clowns.
And I also picked my own colors for this one. I had gotten a thread pack from Fat Quarter Shop of Classic Colorworks, and they were purples. And one of them was called Pickled Beets.
Oh,
and
no.
it is super variegated, deep purple, and I absolutely fell in love with it. Because in the pattern, the first letter of every word is done in a different, I think it's Blackbird. I think it's Blackboard. Gentle Art Sampler's Blackboard. Yep. Which is like a variegated deep blue, it looks like, in the picture anyway. Deep blue gray, bluish gray. I like the pickle beets. I don't have Gentle Arts here. Only thing I have is chalk, is the only Gentle Arts I have. but I like that pickled beets. And I thought, wouldn't that pickled beets look cool for Halloween? It's purple, right?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Look how variegated that is. Like,
Yeah.
and I dyed this 28 count piece of Monaco with gray.
I love it.
I think that's going to be awesome. Now over here, I was sweating a little bit because I was getting really close to the edge. I was like, did I start wait? And I did. I did not center that very well.
Yeah, that's
But,
okay.
but this is as wide as it gets. And I have enough fabric there. I'm planning to frame this, actually, is my plan.
And it'll be a cute Halloween decoration.
It'll be a cute Halloween decoration that can easily be, you know, hung up on the wall and then taken down.
Yeah.
But I'm really liking how that came out. And I got all that done in one day. I can stitch letters pretty quick. So,
yeah. I think letters are pretty easy.
Yeah. So the next day is my pathetic day. You want to see it?
I would love to see that.
Oh, let me show this first. I also caught up on Bloomtopia. That happened to kick off on the 1st. That was this section right here. So I got that much done. I am not caught up on the quilt at this time. I'm hoping to catch up this weekend, but alas, we've had a leak in the basement, so my plans are thwarted.
Foiled.
They're foiled once again.
Foiled once again.
See, I'm funnier with Courtney's on. This was a free pattern from Barbara Anna. I got 2 of them. One's called Key, one's called Light. This is Light. It's Fox in a Dress. I just think it's cute.
It's adorable.
And I'm doing it on 14 count Venetian Stone Aida because I had it in my stash. It's a good color for this. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And the flosses look really good against it. You ready for my?
I'm ready.
Ready?
I'm sorry.
It's just a baby start.
It's a baby start.
It's a baby start. So this was when was this? The 7th, which was it's Thursday, right? Thursday. It was this past Thursday. Yes. So this Thursday, I started this in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And normally what I would have done is stitched again on it at lunchtime and then again in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday, I had a horrible, horrible day at work. And I just could not bring myself to stitch anymore. I was so angry at some things that I could not stitch anymore. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly, this is probably maybe 20 minutes of stitching. And I just do it. I love the pattern. I like how it's working up on this fabric. There's nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't do it. I literally sat and watched probably 10 episodes of West Wing that night.
Of what?
West Wing.
Oh, West Wing.
Which, for everybody that doesn't know, that's like a TV series from back in the 2000. I think it ended in 2005.
Yeah.
And I love that show, and it's on Netflix because we don't have cable anymore. So we have binge watched a ton of things on Netflix. And that's the one. He's binge watching the 70s show.
Yeah.
We're together, and because I like, there's some of the 70s show I like. There's others that I don't. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been alternating between West Wing and Chuck in the evenings.
And Chuck?
Yeah, I like Chuck.
I remember when we were watching that when we were kids.
Yeah, Chuck, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't get far on Light. That's maybe 100 stitches is what I wrote down. It's pathetic, but it is what it is. That's probably the most pathetic start I've had so far in Maynia. I probably just should not have even started anything that day, but to my credit, I did not know at 5:30 in the morning when I started that I was going to have the day I had. So it was just a horrible day. And you know, you ever have those days where you just want the day to be over? Like you're willing to go to bed at 6 o'clock so that the day ends.
Yeah.
And that's where I was at. And I just, Oh, it was crazy bad. The worst it's been, anyway. But then I rebounded on Friday. This was not originally in my Maynia plans, but I found the pattern. I bought it. It came, so I kitted it up for Maynia after Maynia started. So I added it in after.
Yeah.
Because I'm in love with this pattern. It's called And the Forest Grew. It's by Rosewood Manor.
Oh, I love it.
Isn't it cool, Court? It's huge. It is huge. And in the middle it says, and out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And I love it. And I loved that you also can make smaller things, like somebody had taken motifs from it and made smaller things. And I love some of the trees in here. Like, look at that one.
Yeah, I see a lot of gradients in the trees.
Yes.
Really cool.
I stitched, so I started from over here, top right. So I was going to start over here. I always start in top right. Always, 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 always. This one I was going to start in top left because I just felt like not that I like that area more. I just wanted to start there. I don't know why. I just wanted to start here. Well, I was missing one of the DMC colors that goes in here. And how I could possibly be missing a color, I have no idea. Because this is how many flosses I pulled for this thing. But I'm missing one of the main colors in this corner. So I was talking to your dad, and he goes, just start in the other corner. So I started in this corner here. And I'm stitching it. What does it call for? 32 count Belfast linen from Zweigart in cream. I can't get it here fast enough, and I couldn't find that colorway. So I basically did a stash dive and decided to go with, so 32 count when you stitch over 2 is equal to 16 count. I found, because this thing is like 30 inches wide, 27 inches wide, okay? I found this big piece of tea-dyed 16 count Ada.
Oh, yeah.
In my stash, so I started, and I gotta tell you, I think I counted, it's about 500 stitches I did last night. I didn't get a ton of time to stitch yesterday during the day at all, but here, look at the tree.
I know, I love that.
And then this is a little bird. I have to do the beak and the eye. Look at this tree.
Those are cute.
And it's just cool. And I think what I like about these things is you change colors so often. Do you know, like you're not getting bored. Like sometimes when you fill in a house, I get bored.
Yeah.
This is just, sometimes the color changes are obnoxiously fast.
It's like 1, 2, and now we're changing.
Like here I did 2, 4, 7 stitches for the legs. And that's it. But I like it.
I think it's cute.
And I can stitch it in hand because it's Ada.
Yeah.
And I can stitch it without magnification because it's Ada. Sometimes the linens I have to use a magnifier, especially at night because my eyes are tired.
We love Ada.
So that brings us to today. I have no idea how long we've been talking.
I have no idea. I don't even know how to check it.
This doesn't tell us how many minutes we've been recording. So today I got up thinking it was going to be a whip weekend because I don't have 31 starts. I went to bed last night thinking we should probably have a whip weekend. Or I was feeling a whip weekend because I knew I was going to be sewing, or I was supposed to be sewing a lot this weekend. I may be tomorrow, but I'm certainly not going to be today. I got up this morning at 5:36. I think I woke up. I'm such a creature of habit. I got my coffee, went over to my kitted bin, pulled something, started stitching. So I had a new start this morning. It's not a whip weekend. I don't
There's still another game weekend.
I don't know what I'm gonna do when I don't have. Oh, I have to go back to the second day too because I totally went over the second day, the one I can't find.
Oh, right.
So should we talk about that first?
Yeah, let's talk about that first.
So on the second day, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this because Courtney and I were testing this. It really wasn't focusing well. I do have another webcam coming. It should be here tomorrow. I'm hoping it focuses better. It's kind of a higher end webcam that I'm hoping will focus better. And if it doesn't, then I'm just going to start doing these on my phone where it will. But I did Humble Honey by Hands On Design. And let me see if I can get the picture to come up. And this was actually a start on the second and a finish on the second. And if you need a clearer picture, just go to my Instagram and scroll through. This is the picture that I put on Instagram, so you'll be able to biggie size it and see it. It was a beautiful stitch. It was fun to stitch. It was a quick stitch. And I'm a honeybee keeper, so it was right up my alley. Yep, she's got a honeybee on her arm. Yeah, and so that was the second, and I totally skipped over it, probably because I've been searching, looking for it, cannot find it. I had my sewing area, stitching area moved up into one of the bedrooms upstairs temporarily because of the quarantining at home. Well, with the news that my son was coming and my mom may be coming down, I had to adjust everything. I know it's with the pattern somewhere because I wanted to show the pattern and the finished piece on my Flosstube, but where it is right now, I have no idea. It will show up because I'm going to be cleaning today and sorting through some stuff and getting everything situated. So I'll have to show you guys that on the next Flosstube. But I did not want to stress over having to find it anymore today. If it pops, it'll pop up as I'm moving things around and getting it. Probably like an hour from now after we hang up. And while this video is uploading, I'm going to find it underneath something somewhere. Oh, yeah. Because I know I have the finished cross stitch with the pattern because I can't find either one of them and I needed them together to show them on the Flosstube. So, but it's a wonderful stitch. It's not hard. I think it's like 47 by 50 something stitches. The piece of fabric I think I cut for it was like 4 by 6 or 5 by 6. It's not huge. And it's just, I love Hands On Design anyway. If you look through my binder, I have more of her designs, Kathy Haverman, than anybody else probably. I just like them. They're very much my style and it just works. Yeah. But, so sorry to segue back. That was on the second day of Maynia. I felt like I needed to kick off Maynia with something early on that I could finish for Maynia. Do you know what I mean? Like at the end of Maynia, have a finish. So I had started that in the second and I finished it the same day. Of course, our crappy weather here is really kindred to stitching time because when you can't go outside and do anything, what else are you going to do? Yeah. I mean, seriously. And I'm sure Matt's getting tired of looking at my face. But today, this is what I picked out. I went with Stars and Stripes Saturday. I am very patriotic, wanted to incorporate more patriotic stitching this year. So I have several patriotic pieces. And so this is one, every heart beats true for the red, white, and blue.
Oh, I love it.
By Country Cottage Needleworks. And I've actually had this pattern for a long time. It was supposed to end up in last year's Maynia and did not.
Yeah, I remember talking about that one.
Yep. And so I started this morning on 28 count Monaco. And I've only stitched on it for about an hour.
That's cute.
And I got the whole top border done.
Yeah. Except
for the flowers and some words. So I assume I'm going to have more stitch time today. We will see. I might switch out the letters. So the letters are called for, I think it's called for hickory sticks, which is a brown. And I think it calls for hickory sticks for the faces of the sheep as well. Yeah, it does. Hickory sticks. I actually think I might rip those out and go with black.
There you go.
Instead. I had done a few letters and I was going to sit and look at it and see how it sat with me. And I really think looking at it now, I'd rather them be done in black.
I think it would pop.
Yeah, and I think sheep, I don't know. I would rather have them black and white, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
a little more contrast.
but what I will, this is the only thing that'll stop me, is the eyes on the sheep are black French knots. And they won't show up if I do black sheep faces.
Let's do white.
White eyeballs. So they look like bug-eyed sheep.
Still white eyeballs.
So I may have to stick with the hickory sticks, but I still like it. It's a fairly quick stitch.
Mm-hmm.
That's a possible that might get done by the end of Maynia if I keep plugging away on it. I have quite a few of them upstairs that are possibles to get done.
Mm-hmm.
None of which I showed you today, other than that one. I have lots of big projects, and I have more upstairs as kitted up projects. I think, how many kits do I have? I'm using the X Stitch app to keep track of my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I have 16 kitted projects left.
Yep.
One of them is Mary Mary Needleworker. Have you seen that pattern?
Yeah, I think you showed it to me last time we actually FaceTimed.
Yeah, I actually dyed a fabric for that. I did not have a fabric for that. I've dyed it now. It's dry. I've got to put it back up in the bag.
Nice.
Mary Mary Needleworker might have to be a start this week.
Yeah.
Um,
There you go.
I have, yeah, lots of cool starts. I have 18 whips at the moment because I had 10 at the start. I've started 9 and finished 1. So
Mm-hmm.
as far as haul, I don't have anything. But you have a couple of things to show.
I do. So actually the last time I think we did a Facebook Live together, we had the mandala giraffe in it. And obviously not much has gotten done on it.
I actually feel like a lot's gotten done.
Well, I think the last time that I showed it, it was up to here. So I finished the top, almost the top of his head. I'm finishing that now there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started up on, I think it's his ear. I don't think it's his horn. I think the horn comes out this way. But so there's that. This had to get put on hold though for Jack's birthday present, which he's already seen, so that now I can show that.
Nice.
The most pain in the butt project I've ever had to work on. So the boy messed up his Converse a while ago, so I got him a new pair. And thank God when I bought that new floss, it came with embroidery needles. I wasn't just using that thin little needle I was using. So I actually embroidered in a banjo, and then it says Banjo Jack on them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
Yeah, so he really wanted them before his birthday. So he has seen them, so I can officially show them. But
what's his birthday?
The 24th. Little does he know he's getting something else, but he doesn't know
Gotcha.
that. But that's all I've been working on. That's actually, the Converse have taken up probably about 2.5 weeks from me just trying to figure out how to do them. Because I was originally trying to just get it all printed on the Converse, and then Converse doesn't do that anymore. So
yeah.
I had to figure out another way. So I had to hand do it. But not shabby.
I bet you money that I will get off this video and find that humble honey.
Oh yeah, I would take that bet.
Yeah, that's kind of the way things go.
They never show up until you don't need them.
Right. We just have been moving stuff around so much trying to accommodate this work from home thing.
Right.
It's kind of crazy. Like your dad is working from home now till October 1st, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So for everybody watching, we're in New York State. We are upstate. I'm in upstate New York, 5-hour drive north of New York City. Mm-hmm. However, New York City was an epicenter for COVID-19.
Yeah.
So, and we got hit a little bit here. I live in a smaller county, so we got hit, but not to the degree that some other places did.
Mm-hmm.
But we've essentially been shut down since, I want to say, the third week in March.
I think, yeah, that's about right. I mean, I think we shut down the second, maybe the end of the second week.
We were like a week after you. I think you guys shut down earlier than we did in the process.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been working from home 80 to 90% of the time since the third week in March. Actually, I think the fourth week in March. We sent staff home the third week, got them situated. It was the next week the us managers went to a work from home rotation.
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry, I got to stretch.
Stretch break.
Stretch break. So some weeks I go in 2 days, some weeks I go in one.
Mm-hmm.
Did not like working from home in the beginning, but I've gotten kind of used to it now and actually prefer it rather than going to a ghost staffed office, which is kind of eerie to say the least.
I wouldn't think so.
But it's working. I mean, other than me needing a haircut really bad and needing a pedicure really bad, I mean, these are first world problems, right?
Yeah.
We're not running out of food. Yeah, Matt and I are getting along well. It's not no different than it was when we were both going to jobs every day.
That's good.
We've decided we will do well in retirement because we haven't got sick of looking at each other yet. Things like that. I think everything here is essentially going well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a huge fan of our governor, never have been, but I do like how he's handled this.
Yeah, from what I've heard, he's doing pretty well.
I think he's done pretty well. I think it's tough when you talk about New York City. Your dad and I were in New York City just before Christmas, and I love the city.
Mm-hmm.
Would never want to live there, but I love visiting, and it had been a long time since I had been there. So I absolutely loved it, but you can't walk around that city without touching people.
No.
It's
No
not,
way.
that's not how that city rolls, So, and that's part of the appeal of it, is that you just get caught up in this wave of people, and it's just awesome stuff.
Yeah.
And we had talked about planning a family trip where we all meet kind of in New York City. I don't know what that's going to look like going forward, but I would like to still do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think the city in itself is beautiful in its own right. It's much different than what we have up here in rural upstate New York.
Right.
And like I said, I wouldn't want to live there, but you got to feel for the healthcare workers that are working there.
100%.
Yeah. So we as a family, we're not only patriotic, but since I'm in healthcare, we support healthcare workers and frontline workers. Thank you for everything you do. It's truly appreciated by even those of us that, I mean, I'm a nurse manager, but I'm not on the front line right now.
Yeah.
My team is, I am not.
Thank you, Taylor.
But yeah, we are very thankful for those that are stepping on the front line. Thankfully, in our area, we're not getting hit super hard like New York City.
Right.
We have had some deaths, and our thoughts and prayers go out to all the family members that are affected.
Yes.
But hopefully a new normal soon, huh?
Yeah, hopefully.
We had a meeting the other night. I'm part of a festival that goes on in September. There was a meeting about that festival. My quilts and my quilting service are featured in that festival, along with some of my cross stitch. More of my cross stitch would have gone in this year, I think, than last year. I'm not sure that festival is going to go forward. So, and normally Courtney flies home to be part of that festival.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're waiting to see what the state officials advise. I know there's some events that have canceled through August.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just waiting to see what's safe and prudent, and
Yeah.
And we'll,
Going for that guidance of anyone who has it.
right. Yeah, because even the hospitals here are under guidance if they can't reopen if certain things aren't met. And we do have hospitals that are not reopened to surgeries yet.
Yeah.
Because of those things not being met yet. So they're working hard to meet those prereqs. So that's kind of where we are. But, you know, there's a silver lining to most things. And the silver lining to this is there's way more stitching time now than before.
Mhm.
And first world problems, I just don't have enough stuff to finish my cross stitches on because I can't go shopping for that stuff necessarily. So I think I might have to order some stuff this week to get some FFOs. And I've been repurposing some stuff out of our storage area in the back. So it works, you know, it works. I've got stuff hung up in the house. Most of them frames of old pictures, old things that we don't have up anymore. Repurpose the frames to get some stuff hung up in the house. So we also, oh, I should have brought these down to show everybody. I'll just show them to them next time we do, but Courtney will know what I'm talking about. Our tattoo artist in Marion had some art up on the walls. Yeah, we bought 2 art pieces from her. They are being framed and hung today, hopefully.
So did I.
Did you really?
I did. I bought 2. She had like a bee painting and then she had like a Medusa drawing and I got both of them.
So we got the Robin Williams.
Thank God.
And what else did we get? We got the Robin Williams. And I want to say the Willy Wonka.
Yeah. Nice. The Gene Wilder.
Yeah.
That like
Sure I know we got the Robin Williams. For some reason I'm blanking on the other one. But I will bring them to the next Flosstube because you know I'm a small business. My quilting business is a small business for me. I have a long arm quilt machine, as you guys have heard plenty about. I believe in supporting small business. I purchase a lot from small businesses on Etsy and locally.
Yes.
I believe in that. So purchasing this artwork from her was part of us supporting small business in our area. And it was super exciting. And, you know, your dad did it.
Nice.
So I would have if I had known about it, but I'm not on Facebook. As you know, I am almost never on Facebook. So,
yeah.
But he had been scrolling through Facebook, saw that she was selling some things and bought a couple of things.
That's actually really funny because when I contacted her about the bee, I asked her about the Robin Williams and she said it was sold. And I was like, dang it, but you guys got it.
Yeah, I will try to remember to bring it. I'll send you a picture after we're off. But for Flosstube friends, I will try to remember to bring them down or pictures to show down next time we do Flosstube. So my next scheduled update will be next Saturday. Saturdays are still my best day to do them. I was trying to do Stitch with Me's. Work honestly has gotten kind of hairy. I'm been kind of tired to do Stitch with Me's and things like that. So I may try to do a Stitch with Me this week. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of going week by week. I was trying to do daily videos and that got too much very fast. It's just the way my work day plans out. It's just by the end, by dinner time, I'm just brain boom. So I just don't feel like figuring anything out. So if I come down here and I have any difficulties with any piece of what makes this happen, I tend to be like, nope.
Fine.
Never mind.
Sorry, we ain't doing this today.
Yep. And I can't even tell you plans. My plans this week is to pick up a kitted project or a whip every day and stitch. Whatever I feel like stitching on that day. And my plan is to get a couple quilts together this weekend. However, I have to clean up a mess first. So, but Courtney, hang on after I stop recording and we'll keep chatting for a little bit. But to everybody that's watching, thanks for joining us. Courtney's a welcome addition. Makes it more fun for me always to see one of my kids. So does this mama's heart good. All right, everybody else, I'll see you next Saturday. Peace.